Hey dolls, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are doing an Easter bunny design. Stay tuned to see the nail magic that we can create. All right, dolls, so we are gonna be doing a fill using my non-dominant hand. So what I'm going to do is go right in with my coarse safety bit, and I am going to start taking off all the layers of polish. I'm going to debulk these, and I'm going pretty far down today because I am putting a different rubber base on. One of the ones I actually got from SHEIN, so that's in my last haul, which you'll see it in a second. I'm just going to show you my process on one nail, so you're not going to have to watch all 5. But I am just smoothing everything, debulking everything, taking it down to a low level. Because I did this last set with my left hand, I have just a little bit of lifting, not too much, but I'm making sure I get all that. And then I always go under the nail. My natural nails grow so crooked, so you always want to go under the nail and get that natural nail. That way you don't have your natural nail pulling away from the gel, and also to restructure, rebalance the shape of them. And like I said, I just go with this until I've got it to the level that I want, and then I'm going in with my mini sanding band. This is a 180 sanding band. I'm going around that cuticle, I'm pushing up the cuticle, I'm getting any dead skin off, and I'm also exposing more of that new growth, and I'm roughening up that new growth and blending it in with the previous product. And you want to do this lightly. I have this at 4,000 RPM, and I'm not putting any pressure on this. Like, I'm doing this so lightly, so gently. You don't want to overfile. You don't want to get that ring of fire. That's what we have. Then I'm going in with my ball bit. I started out at 8,000 RPM, and then I turned it up to 10. I have super thick cuticles. I have dry skin from the medical soap. So I turn it up higher on myself. I wouldn't put this on someone else's hand at 10,000 RPM, but for me, I know what my skin can handle. And again, I'm not applying a lot of pressure. So if you're getting burning, you're either putting too much pressure on it or you have it just too high for you. So don't be afraid to adjust. Turn it down, turn it up, do what you got to do. And then you do not want to be pressing down with any of the drill bits. Then I go in with my 100 grit hand file, and I'm going over the top again. I am going over the sidewalls. I'm getting my shape to about what I want it. I will perfect my shape later once I've put on the product. This is basically just a rough draft. And when you don't see any line and the nails all completely roughened up, you are good to go. So I clean that off with some alcohol just so I can show you better like where we're at. And like right now you cannot see like a line from the old product to the new product. Did the rest of the nails off camera, and then we're gonna get ready for our fill. So I'm going in with the Dehydrator from LGN. I did just one coat of this on all 5 fingers. This is an air dry, so you just put it on there and then you wait a few seconds. You want to see the nail dry out, and you'll see in a second. I go up close so I can show you that you definitely do not want to skip the dehydration process. And you should see them. They should look nice and dry and crusty, and that's when you're good to go. So then I go in with her rubber base, and I'm just putting this where the new growth is exposed and then blending it over the previous product that I do still have on there. And now you can use a primer, like you can go Dehydrator, primer, and then this. With her system though, you do not have to use the primer. Now if you are someone that has very oily nails, very oily skin, you might not want to skip the primer. Like, just go ahead and do all the steps and you'll have much longer retention. Full 60-second cure once I have that. And then this is the rubber base that we're going in with. Now this was described on the site as more like a, what is that, builder gel in a bottle. So, and I've used one before, and I believe those were also on very short nails. But so what you're going to do is paint on like the first layer like it is a polish. You're just going to do your slip layer, and then you're going back in with a larger amount and you're going to float that on top. So you're doing it just how you would with regular builder gel, but it's in a bottle. So instead of doing it with, you know, a gel brush, you're doing it with the actual bottle brush. I didn't find that this was hard to use. It was a little tough getting the sidewalls, especially not painting all over myself. But then I also am using my left hand, and we all know that I'm not left-handed. But I really like the way they came out in the end, and I would use this again. So I just clean anything up that might have spilled, and then I am going to turn my hand upside down and kind of let gravity help me out. So I'm going to show you the process again, just on this thumb, and then I'll do the rest off camera, but just so you have a good view of what I'm doing. So paint it everywhere that you want the gel is where this slip layer is going to go. So you want to go from cuticle to free edge. You want to make sure you get both sidewalls. This doesn't need to be pretty, the first layer, your slip layer. You just want to, it's going to be a map of where the gel will flow. So you just want to make sure you cover all the areas that you want gel on. And this stuff was great. Like when I did get it on my cuticle or on the side of my finger, it wiped off super easily. I didn't find that this was too runny or too thick. I really liked this product, and I love the color. It's like this mauve pinkish purple. It's so pretty. But then I'm just floating more on, and then I actually did have to go back and dip back into the bottle. I didn't have enough the first time, and it melted right into itself seamlessly, which I love. I love when a product, like when you can't tell where you've added more. And then I'm just going up the sidewalls, down the sidewalls, just dragging anywhere that it's light. Clean that off, you know, make sure I don't have any spillage. And then I did take a fine liner brush, and I'm just going to dip it right into the gel that's on my finger, and I'm pulling that. So I'm pulling it into the areas that I want it to go. So I can get right up against that cuticle, and I can get right down those sidewalls. Anywhere that I couldn't fit the brush, I'm going to take this little liner brush and pull it where I need it to go. And again, this stuff was very forgiving. It moved very well, but not too much to where it was spilling all over the place. And it was a full 60-second cure. All of them are done. We're going to, of course, clean them off. You want to get that tacky layer off before you go into filing. Otherwise, it's going to gunk up your files. So here they felt pretty strong, like they normally do. There's future Jamie, editing Jamie later in the video, and I will go over like how these wore, because I've had them on for like 4 or 5 days now. But then I'm going back in with my mini sanding band, and this is a new one. It's still 180. This is where I'm going to seal in the cuticle. I'm going to go over the body of the nail, make sure I don't have any lumps or bumps, get it nice and smooth, make sure my apex is in the right area, thin out the free edge of the nail, because whenever I use my left hand, I tend to make these chunky monkeys. Like it's just what happens. And just, you know, take your time. I think right now I'm on, I don't know, either 8 or 10,000 RPM. I'm not going super fast with this. I just want to do like a light filing. And then I did go in with my buffing block and just buff out any gouges that I just left with my mini sanding band. I repeated this process for all of the nails. And then I do go in with my hand file, and this is where I perfect my shape and crispen up just anywhere that it needs it. Like I said before, my natural nails grow so crooked. So when I first do my set, they're nice and straight and look great. And then as they grow out, they all just kind of lean to one side. So I always have to rebalance the shape, rebalance the nail. But I really like these so far. So I'm going in with the new black that I got from this brand. Don't know how to say it, not even going to attempt it. Put a little bit of that on a dish. And then I'm going in with GELLEN Strong Base, and I'm just base coating this one nail because this is where we are going to do a design. And of course, because it's me and I'm using my left hand, I'm gonna do line work. Either I love to challenge myself or love to torture myself. I'm really not sure. So I got a really fine liner brush and I'm just priming it. So what you're doing is you're coating the nail, like you're putting the brush in the polish and twisting and pulling. So you're getting the polish coated everywhere, but then you're pulling away so you don't have a bunch of excess. I'm going to be doing a little Easter bunny. And so what I did was I started off with like a small like half circle, 3/4 of the circle, and then I connected a larger circle to that small circle. And again, I'm not left-handed, so I don't know what the hell I was thinking doing this, but I do like the way it came out. It's very like abstract. Like it kind of looks like a 3rd grader did it, but then it kind of looks like I meant to do it like that. Like I wasn't being super precise. So I'm adding on his little feet and I'm just doing a line and then curving it and then doing a line right underneath that, curving that up to touch that. For the ears, the same thing, a line up and curved, and then I connected it and pulled it down. And you can see here like kind of what I'm talking about. I pull it up and curve, and then do one right on the other side, pull it up and curve it into itself. I took a very small cleanup brush and just cleaned up this one side where he was just looking crazy on that one side. That's what I have. I did do a full 60-second cure, and then I'm using this gem glue that I got in my last SHEIN haul, and I love this stuff. It is so precise, and like I said, I've had these on 4 or 5 days now. My gem is still holding strong. But I put a little gem for his tail, and then I'm going in with the glossy top coat from GELLEN, and I'm just top coating all of these. And I top coated like all around the gem. I didn't paint over the gem. And I will say with this black, there was no bleeding whatsoever when I painted over it. Now I still, especially if you use a matte, I would still wipe it off. But yeah, so far I like everything that I used today. And then this is the final look. I think it's super cute. You guys let me know what you think. Leave me a like, comment, subscribe. Happy early Easter, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, dolls. Hey, dolls. So this is Future Jamie, Editing Jamie, and these nails have lasted. I've had them on for, I think, 4 or 5 days now. I will say that I bumped my thumb the other day and it bent. It didn't crack or anything like that. Like they're still holding strong, but I would definitely say for this builder gel or for this rubber base that it would be better on either a really short set or it would be perfect for your toes. But there is flexibility on this, so I feel like you could easily break one, especially if you wore them for a long amount of time. But they're definitely not, it's not strong enough to have structure for a long nail. So I just wanted to throw that out there now that I've worn it for a few days and kind of did like a wear test on it. I still love the color and it's not like chipping or anything like that. Like I said, none of them have cracked, but when I hit my thumb, it bent. And gel has a little bit more flexibility than acrylic anyways, but just letting you know. All right, bye dolls.